Hello, I am the cartoonist M. Rashid. This cartoon was created as the cover to a dialogue I engaged in earlier today on social media. Um, my big takeaway that I use for the cartoon is my big takeaway from the dialogue, let's put it that way, is the modern trend of vilifying religion, the organized religions, Abrahamic faith specifically. This is a mistake, particularly from my standpoint as an anti-racism activist. Because remember, it was the Black church that led the fight during the Civil Rights era. They were the ones that were doing that. They were very political and very actively engaged. There's a reason why all of the leaders from the 60s and 50s, etc., were all like pastors and religious figures. Malcolm X, a religious figure. Dr. Martin Luther King, a religious figure. Like, all those guys were deeply rooted in our religious tradition as a people with no issue. It was a matter of faith, as a matter of like law and justice and stuff. They were all linked, So if you go back further than that, you remember that the abolitionist movement, the fundamental nature of that national argument, that conflict, was conflicting the slaveholder class through their religion. They knew it was wrong, but they sided on the side of a love for money over what was right. So if you live your entire existence that way, hoarding wealth by stealing the fruit of a people's labor, by imposing a permanent hereditary shadow bondsman class upon them. You knew it was wrong, you did it anyway because you loved money more. Hellfire will be your portion. So they were conflicted by this. They knew better. Some of them, thinking that they could have their cake and eat it too, would do that deathbed, try to free all their slaves on their deathbed, or put it in their will that as soon as I'm dead, free them, as if that was going to save them from a life of hell. The unrepentant hellbound is going to try to save themselves by doing those kind of tricks. Like, you're going to trick God. No. You either be on the path or you are not on the path. There is no third option. You either believe and walk out that belief, or you can enjoy the roar of the pit. That's it. So that was the nature of the abolitionist movement's fight against them, and the Black church carried that on. So the flips and trips and hoops and stuff that they had to move through in order to recover from the Civil War and the collapse of the economy, they had to build up their wealth, still preferring to prey upon me economically when they did it. So the lesson the 1% class learned, because they watch those kinds of trends, like we talked about with them watching how the Netflix versus Blockbuster thing went down. They're always making plans and policies and stuff to how do I maintain my dominant economic position. The 1% class stay there. They're great at it. The fact that John D. Rockefeller already had men in place in the legislative branch to sabotage the 1890 Sherman Antitrust Act. The very first Antitrust Act, he already had people in the House sabotaging it before it even came out. That's how they think. Their love for money is total. They'll do all kinds of backflips and stuff to maintain that dominant position. If they can see it, they can see the examples, they'll immediately plan. So he knew what the conflict in the slavery era was conflicting him through his religion on the national stage. So to keep that from happening in the modern era, he propagandized an attack against religion. So now, even though Black Americans themselves are attacking religion like it was a treacherous, non-essential, did you forget this is what got you your civil rights acts? The Black church led that fight, and now you're vilifying it based on what? Based on the fact that you listen to the one you should not listen to. Where else would this come from? Who benefits from you taking away the very tools that got you through the worst time periods of this country's history, the most brutal periods of this country's history? These are the tools that you use, your unified family, your religion. This has got you through. In this era, you're conspicuously helping your enemy vilify and attack those things that helped you. And you look crazy for it. You look crazy. Paganism is not for you. Go back to what works. Stop listening to your enemy. He wants nothing for you except to return you to shadow. And when you parrot his verbiage through your vernacular, you parrot his verbiage that only benefits him, you look like a fool. Stop it. Peace.